Welcome back to Carsonian Beans. Today we're going to be going over last night's game between the Chargers and the Raiders. It was a really good one and went into overtime. This is actually one of the rare occurrences when we actually saw multiple scores during overtime. I mean, overtime is so rare. Normally it's just like a touchdown on the first drive that wins it, but no, this one we'll talk about in a second. We're going to go ahead and we're going to talk about everything that happened in the game, go over some stats, and just, talk about what that basically means for each team. So basically how it started off were the Chargers. They scored a couple touchdowns. Well, really the first half, it was mainly just the Chargers dominating the Raiders. At one point, the Raiders were actually looking pretty good. Marcus Mariota went in there. Towards the end of the second half, he was looking pretty good. But really for the most of that, especially first quarter, the Raiders just could not get anything done, really, especially defensively. They were actually kind of holding Austin Ekeler. Austin Ekeler didn't manage to do much. I think he had 13 carries for 60 yards, no touchdowns. But other than that, they were letting Justin Herbert just throw all over the field, 314 yards on 22 completions. And it was really this Raiders defense that kind of threw the game. In that first half, we kind of saw their offense kind of flop. Second half, though, they really bounced back. Their defense started holding up the pass more. They managed to come back, and it was all tied up at the end of regulation, 24-24. And, I mean, the way it was looking, Marcus Mariota was playing really well, actually, on the ground and running. He had an interception there, but that was really it. He had a couple passes that should have been intercepted, but he played a lot better than most backup quarterbacks would in that situation, and he took them into overtime, and they were looking, the Chargers really could have won it right there, but what's his name? Mike Badgley, I can't pronounce that name, actually kicked a couple field goals that missed, so really it could have been a 30 to 24 game at the end of regulation, but if he had made those kicks, but no, he missed. Mike Badgley actually only kicked one out of his 3 attempts and scored 6 points. But other than that, they go into overtime, and really the Raiders are down the field. They kick a field goal, and in my opinion, I thought it was over. I thought the Chargers were going to get stopped, or that they were going to kick a field goal and tie, but no, they managed to drive down the field to get a nice 53-yard bomb on like the second or third play of the drive, and it was a touchdown right after that by Justin Herbert. It was actually, the Raiders actually had some pretty good goal line standing there. Also on the drive before that, the Chargers the Raiders were like right up on their one, and then they kept on, stopping them. And the same thing happened to the Chargers. They got right up on the one, but then they kept on getting stopped, and they finally got one in. They actually had a fumble once. Well, there's a weird rule to where if it's in overtime, only the person who fumbled the ball can recover for that team. Doesn't make any sense, but it's whatever. But the Chargers. Oh wow, sorry. They ended up winning. If my mic's making weird noises, I am very sorry about that. Ended up winning 30-27. They bumped to 5-9, but they were out of the playoffs 2 weeks ago already. 2 weeks ago they got eliminated whenever they fell from 3-8 to 3-9. They've won 2 in a row, but really all that's doing is saying goodbye to their good draft position. There's so many terrible teams this year that 5 wins is probably going to be and barely enough to get you in the top 5, if that. I mean, they might get top 10. They were looking at, possibly top 3, but now, top 5 is a long shot. Top 10 is, a possibility, but really I'm thinking, just outside of the top 10 is where they're going to be. Justin Herbert had a really good game. The Raiders, they lost. They fall to 7-7, and their playoff hopes are kind of dwindling. We're now seeing it kind of go from Ravens, Raiders, Patriots to Ravens trying to sneak in behind the Dolphins. And it'll be interesting to see if maybe the Raiders or the Patriots can pull something crazy out. The Raiders is really this was a good chance for them to bump up to 8-6. This was a good chance for them to, get back into things really to show that they are still in contention. But no, they lost, and their defense didn't look good doing it. They've had a rough stretch of these 4 games. They've gone 1-3 in their last 4 games, and that one win was obviously that Hail Mary attempt at the end of the game against the Jets. And in my opinion, I wouldn't be surprised to see them go, 7-9 at this point, which would be kind of terrible for them to go 7-9. If they start out 6-4, I'm pretty sure like they did, and then just lose all but one. But the Raiders, they're playing like that. They're playing like a team that deserves to go 7-9. I don't know who they play the next couple of weeks, but if it's anything, I mean, they lost to the Chargers, so. The Chargers, on the other hand, they're looking like a pretty good team. But basically, I mean, we're seeing this game was about as good as this was kind of what we expected. What we thought that they could be. Earlier in the season when Justin Herbert went in there, he was playing really well. This is kind of what we expected week by week. They played really badly for a couple weeks there, and then this week we're seeing it again. We're seeing how well they can play. I thought they were going to choke again, but they didn't. So shout out to the Chargers. But It's the first time I'm actually doing one of these in a while. I've been just being, sorry about that. I've been actually just being pretty lazy and just decided, no, I don't want to do it for one game. And then there have been games, I think there have been 2 games in these past 4 weeks that I just haven't talked about. And I've always felt kind of dirty doing that because I feel like, no one really cares. I don't think anyone really cares about my channel, but still. Thank you guys all so much for watching this video. I post NFL content every single day unless, like I said, I'm lazy or I'm busy, which happens a lot of Sundays. And yeah, thank you guys oh so much for watching this video, and I hope to see you in my next one, which should be my preview for the Washington football team game, because I am a Washington football team fan. Also, well, no, I'll tell you Merry Christmas when it gets closer to Christmas. We've still got a week left. All right, sorry if my mic's been bugging, but bye.